The spring insanity is just starting, and we're getting ready for the New Japan Cup. Hi everybody, my name's Chris Charlton, and over the next hour or so, a little bit more, a little bit less, we're going to be breaking down the brackets of New Japan Cup 2021 to help me make some predictions that will inevitably be proved incorrect within about 96 hours or so is Gino Gambino and, of course, Kevin Kelly. Gentlemen, yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
I'm not even going to try this time. Everyone keeps making fun of me.
Chris, you said
strike.
two things. You said insanity, and there was something else. And I was like, yes, this is the actual description of this panel that you
I think the word
brought
incorrect
together.
was probably...
That's it too.
Incorrect. So, of course, New Japan Cup is getting started on March the 4th, 49th anniversary. And by the time you watch this, we're hoping that this program will be put together and available for you all to see by the time the New Japan Cup gets started. And before you get ready to listen and watch live English coverage of 49th anniversary in the Nippon Budokan on NJPW World. But we've been told it might be a little bit late. We might be coming out the next day, in which case some of our predictions will already be wrong.
So, like you said, just again, Gino, I think when we get the matches wrong that will air on the 4th, we can just do Tetsuya Naito, or
just Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, Great Okan. And they can dub that in and make us look really smart.
Post, it'll be absolutely perfect. Of course, right. Every stop on the New Japan Cup tour is going to be airing live on njpwworld.com. Now, we'll be there for you with live English coverage for the start, as we mentioned, March the 4th, and also the semi-finals and finals coming up March 20th and March 21st. All of that live English coverage, but we will be giving you English coverage all the way through the tournament. Kevin Kelly will be working diligently in your special... what have you got a name for it? The NJPW basement?
Then I'm going to redesign the entire space, and it's actually going to be a proper broadcast studio with green screens and different lighting and different set pieces, different memorabilia hanging on the walls. But for right now, there's no real point. So everything is kind of in flux.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what happens. As soon as you get that set up, then the pandemic will be over. Kevin Kelly's in Japan the whole time.
I'll never record here again. It'll be this beautiful studio that will go unused.
So I do want to go, before we go into the New Japan Cup itself, of course, the announcement that came along with the press conference was just what this year's New Japan Cup is for. It's all going to lead to the winner of the New Japan Cup heading into Sakura Genesis, April 4th, in Yogoku Sumo Hall, and they will be the first challenger for what is now the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Those lineages, Kota Ibushi has requested over and over that they be unified, and those lineages will be unified. We're going to keep on respecting those traditions and that list of champions, but there will be a new World Heavyweight Championship, a new belt. And, first of all, Gino, to you, we've seen the gamut of opinions online, on social media, very divisive. I think it's a good thing. A lot of people, of course, I think a lot of people think it's a good thing, but they're also a little bit sad to see the Intercontinental Championship and the Heavyweight Championship perhaps go away or transform into something new. What's your take, Gene?
I think I'm a big fan of it. I love it. I love the idea of two prestigious titles coming together into one. They always said that Ibushi would say one meant you're the strongest, one meant you're the best. Now you're the strongest and the best, all wrapped up in one little gift. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's a great idea and a great way to move into the future of New Japan.
I agree with Gino, but for the past 6 years, I've resisted and I've had to retrain my brain to not describe the IWGP Heavyweight title as the IWGP World Heavyweight title. So now it will take a learning curve again as we re-educate ourselves on the addition of the name World. But it really is a World Heavyweight Championship. New Japan Pro Wrestling is a worldwide company. We have television all over the world. We have fans all over the world. We have offices set up in the United States and in Japan. We have partnerships with promotions all over the world. So this really is, I think, the proper evolution of the championship to reflect the company. The same thing happened in Ring of Honor. It was the Ring of Honor heavyweight title. It was the Ring of Honor championship until Samoa Joe defended the title in England. And then they said, no, it's a world title now because he's defended it around the world. So same thing. And I think it's great. As long as we respect the lineages, there'll always be conversation of, the debate as to whether or not Shinsuke Nakamura or Tetsuya Naito were the best intercontinental champions or whatever, however you choose to describe it. But the idea that these two titles now coming into one, it puts much, much more pressure on Kota Ibushi, not just facing the winner of this amazing tournament, but that to make his first defense at Ryogoku Sumo Hall with so much New Japan history against the New Japan Cup winner, I think it's going to be a real test for Ibushi, whomever emerges victorious from the New Japan Cup.
I'm just going to, because of course we are recording this just before Thursday. I'm also going to cover you there with El Desperado.
Oh, could be El Desperado.
Could be, yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
And I mean, that double champion versus double champion. I mean, it's crazy the journey that El Desperado's been on. But of course, time depending, that match may have already happened. But certainly, it's something I'm really looking forward to at this point in time. But let's jump into the New Japan Cup bracket itself. Our wonderful production staff will have the bracket displayed for you somewhere on your screen, either underneath me, to the right of Gino, to the left of Kevin. It'll be somewhere in the ether. But it all kicks off on March the 4th with a hoss fight right out the gate. Satoshi Kojima versus Jeff Cobb. That's your first tournament matchup here. And, I think here we've got a very clear favorite and a very clear underdog, but I'm not sure that it's going to be necessarily cut and dry. Kevin, who's your pick in Kojima versus Jeff Cobb?
I have to pick Jeff Cobb because he is a tried and true tournament veteran. He is he has wrestled in tournaments all over the world. He's won the PWG, Bola. He's competed in the WXW's the 16 karat. He's wrestled in amateur tournaments all over the world. And the fact that Kojima beat him on Sunday in Osaka, to me says, well, Kojima may have played his way into the field of 30 with getting the victory. But, oh, by the way, now you have to face Jeff Cobb again in the first round. For him to beat Cobb twice in a row, I think will be a tall task.
Gino, are you in agreement on Kojima going down to Jeff Cobb?
Yeah, I think it's an easy one. I know that sounds sad to say because Kojima has such a history within New Japan and was always one of the top strong guys. But Jeff Cobb, since joining the Empire, well, before the Empire, he was a force to be reckoned with. But now that he's joined United Empire, all of a sudden we just see this emotionalist athlete, a guy who's just out there going, I'm here to win. I'm here to get results. And I think Kojima, maybe a little bit too much ha-ha over the last couple of years. I think Cobb's got this pretty easily.
Well, I do think that Kojima's certainly been very, very impressive in 2021 so far. And he certainly brought the fight to Kenta at the Tokyo Dome. He brought the fight to Will Ospreay in an incredible set of circumstances during the new beginning. He'll certainly push Jeff Cobb very, very hard. But even with his long history in the New Japan Cup, he's never got past the second round. And, really, I think that does put him in a difficult situation against Jeff Cobb. So, a rare situation for us all to be in agreement, but Jeff Cobb over Satoshi Kojima is what we think. And then the second tournament match is perhaps a harder one to call when you look at Great-O-Khan and Tetsuya Naito. I think here we're going to get some division. We're going to see all the way through when we talk about the first round here. Some big names will be eliminated pretty early on. And this is one of those cases with a lot of people, I think, liking Great-O-Khan, but Tetsuya Naito being one of the most prominent figures in the tournament. Gino, your take on that one?
Well, look, both men are coming off recent losses. Naito to Ibushi, to Great-O-Khan to Tanahashi. So They've both got something to prove. Naito has the history, the experience, but Great-O-Khan is someone who went so long being undefeated. Only now has he reached a few, stones in the road. But I want to say Great-O-Khan, but I just can't see Naito not getting close to the finals or at least to the next round. So I'm really divided. I'm going to just put a little bit of money on Great-O-Khan at this point, only because I think that undefeated streak gives him a lot of confidence.
I lean towards the other way. And here's what we can't forget. The Great-O-Khan has an incredible upside. He is destined to be a champion in this company one day. But that day is not coming up on April the 4th of 2021. Now, if you say next year or the year after, yeah, absolutely. He's just come back from excursion. He's not supposed to be as good as he is. And I think sometimes, as I was going back and forth on this today, I said, wait a minute. He's just back off of excursion. He's facing one of the all-time great champions in this company's history, who has just come off a loss himself. I think Naito is the clear favorite in this one. And I think that while an upset can happen, I would be very surprised if the Great-O-Khan defeats Tetsuya Naito. And I think Naito has an opportunity to go pretty far in this tournament.
I'm going to put my money behind Great-O-Khan on this one. And I think Tetsuya Naito is like the Grand Old Duke of York. When he's up, he's up. And when he's down, he's down. Now, here's the thing. When you think about, as Gino, you said, they both coming off of losses at Osaka-jo Hall. Where the take home, what did they take from both of those losses? I think when you look at Great-O-Khan, he's probably thinking, look, I planned the work and I worked the plan and I had a near flawless match and Tanahashi snuck one on me. I was a little bit naive, appealing with Yota Tsuji. That crucifix, that got me. I got caught. Whatever. I think he's going to take that and move on. Whereas with Tetsuya Naito, I think he's thinking, I put everything into breaking those titles up. I wanted badly to be the last Intercontinental Champion or the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. And I spent so much talk being against this idea of unification. And now these titles are unified. Tetsuya Naito has to, if he makes it to the end of the New Japan Cup and then goes on to Sakura Genesis, can you imagine all that pride he has to swallow in order to stand opposite the champion to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship? I think that will be difficult. I think even if Naito were to make Ryogoku, he wouldn't come through and be successful in the eventual challenge. And I think with 90% of the game being half mental, as the cliche goes, I think that's what's going to cost him. And I think Great-O-Khan advances.
Well, he's 7-3, and he's against Kota Ibushi, he's 3-7. But Great-O-Khan is not Kota Ibushi. And I think we can get ahead of ourselves here with expectations of the Great-O-Khan. But Tanahashi was able to figure out the counter to the finish. And now that can be a blueprint for everybody because Tanahashi didn't do it any other way than with basic fundamental wrestling. So if he did it, Naito can do it. And I think Great-O-Khan is going to have to figure something else out.
Okay. Well, we move on to March the 5th. It feels strange. Okay, we're moving on. It's the next night. Everything's so condensed. And if you're just subscribing to NJPW World, if you thought, Mox versus Kenta sounds intriguing, I'll dip in for that. Then you've got 16 events over 31 days on NJPW World coming up. So there's a lot of wrestling for your perusal. And on March the 5th, in Korakuen Hall, perhaps the clearest cut lock, the Gino Gambino certified lock of this tournament. Toru Yano versus Bad Luck Fale.
My shoe-in for the week, if you will, Chris. I look, for me, Fale's got this. The man has been his fittest ever. We saw him drop, what was it, Kevin? We said 175 kilos.
Yeah,
the man is...
The weight fluctuated.
Yeah, slim, trim, and terrific. And look, Yano has been going great with his little trophy and his win against Chase Owens. I get it. But Fale, let's not forget, the man was a former Intercontinental Champion. The man has cred. So my feeling is that we are going to see the new Fale and a little bit of the old Fale, and we're going to win. I think it's an easy win.
Finalist 4 years ago, Fale, and at this point in his career, you could say, well, ring rust. But at this point in his career, because you've got to look at his athletic career in totality, since he was a high schooler, he's been competing first in rugby at an extremely high competitive level, one of the most grueling, brutal sports there is, moving from rugby right into wrestling and coming through the dojo system, shooting up, becoming that Intercontinental champion. Some time off will benefit Fale, get his body right, get his head right. And let's not forget the last time he faced Yano was back, December 20th, I think it was, the last defense of the KOPW 2020. And that's where Yano finally became the 2020 KOPW champion. Very controversial, a complete Yano win. I think Fale's going to mow right through Yano in this one.
I'm going with Yano. I'm going to disagree with both of you. Yeah, I think you think about the guts and the strength that Toru Yano had to muscle Fale up for that body slam. And that was something. And I think you think again the steps he's taken against Chase Owens, which was a very different style of KOPW match. There wasn't really much of the ha-ha. It was very, very physical. And it proved how physical Toru Yano can still get. He's the Iron Man of this tournament. This is his 16th consecutive New Japan Cup. And although he has to be the darkest of dark horses to make it all the way through the final, I think he is going to make it past the first round. So I'm going with Toru Yano. And then the second match on this Korakuen bracket, probably one of the harder matches to call, I think, on paper. Hiroki Goto and Taichi. Singles record of 2-2 between them. Hiroki Goto, a 3-time winner of the New Japan Cup. But Taichi himself, when you think about what have you done for us lately, last year in the New Japan Cup, beat Tanahashi, beat Kota Ibushi, and certainly I think now he's refocused as a singles competitor, taking a break away from the tag team division. I think I'm going to give the edge to Taichi on this one. Kevin, what do you think?
I agree with you. Taichi knows who he is now. And I don't think he needs just Ishii to bring that fight out of himself. I think he's got some very selfish goals at all times. He knows that the prize at the end is a match against Ibushi, and he beat Ibushi last year. I think he wants to be in that main event spot. I think he wants to be the first guy to go after the world heavyweight title. And I think Taichi is set to roll here. Goto either wins it or lays an egg. So we'll see what happens. I have all the confidence in the world of Goto as an athlete, but I think Taichi gets the win here in a close, hard fight.
Yep, same for me. I think Taichi. I think Goto's just come out of a long battle with God. I think that's a lot to take on. I think that takes a toll on your body and even your mental health going into a new match. Like, you've just taken on the best tag team in the world and come out the other end not so great. So for me, Taichi's had all the time off in the world. He has been in this position before and he's got a lot more to prove. So, yep, Taichi for me as well.
All right. I'm surprised we're all in agreement. For the most part, we haven't had any big disputes on this program. But
not yet.
Not yet. And it might well be. Here we go. Night 3, March the 6th, in the Ota Ward General Gymnasium. I believe this is the main event of the night, but it's the next thing on my bracket. Kazuchika Okada versus Shingo Takagi. Oh, now this is a tough one of someone you like is going to go out. And in Osaka, we talked about how Okada has to be a favorite, how Shingo has to be a favorite. And I believe I said Okada all the way to win it. I think, Kevin, you said Shingo all the way to win it, did you not?
Yeah, before I saw the brackets. Now I'm pissed. We haven't had a dispute yet. Well, I have a dispute with the matchmakers who put this bracket together. They did it to me last year. It was supposed to be Okada and Jay White. And I had said before the brackets, my pick will be Jay White. Then he wrestles Okada. Damn it. That was my potential final. And now here we are again. I could see Okada versus Shingo in the finals. No. They, in their infinite wisdom, just to ruin my bracket on night one, because I can flush it down the toilet if Shingo doesn't win. And I can't change my pick. I said it live on the air. I've got to pick Shingo. He's my choice to win. So thank you, New Japan matchmakers, for ruining my month of March. And I hope that, no offense to Okada, but I hope Shingo wins just so I can get my bracket right.
I like to think they pick names out of a hat. I'd like to think it's a bit more fair, like an office pool. They put little names in a hat and someone picks it out. I'd like to think it happens that way, but I don't know. I really don't know. I've thought about this a lot since the brackets that came out. I mean, Okada is Okada now. He hasn't had the best 2020 into 2021. He hasn't held a belt of any kind for a long time, but Shingo, like, to me, Shingo is one of the best in the world right now. How do we look us away and go, oh, but Okada? So if I'm going to put money down, which you know I love to do, Kevin,
yes,
I think I'm going to agree. I think I'm going to say Shingo, but I would not be surprised if Okada got through to the next round.
You've got to make a case for Okada here, Chris. Come on.
I mean, yeah, I again, like Kevin, I have to say Okada because I said it live on the air. And I love Shingo. I think everybody loves Shingo, but
love is a strong word.
Deep like.
I like you a little, Gino.
Do you like me? Yes, no. Check one.
Out of all the Ginos, I'm your favorite.
Right, yes. Exactly. I think with Kazuchika Okada going into this year, he's going back to the roots of who he is. We saw him not necessarily use he'll start with a money clip, but he's busted out that Rainmaker. And that sort of that seal on that move has been broken now, and he used it against Okada. He used it against Evil. I don't think Okada is playing for let's see how challenging I can make things for myself anymore, which was his theme through 2020. I think he's playing for keeps, and I think now, especially after those post-match comments after he beat Evil in Osaka, of wanting to get back to the purity of professional wrestling, of two guys who are double tough, fighting for the championship. Whoever's the strongest guy should have the belt. And Okada being the star that he is and being the guy that he was over the last few years, what better person to represent in an IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match than Kazuchika Okada. So I think as much as I would really like to see Shingo win, but Shingo passed out to the money clip in Osaka last year, and I think if he doesn't pass out to the money clip, it's going to be a knockout from the Rainmaker for me.
Hey, that's what I've been going back and forth all day. I've been going back and forth with it all day long because Okada's words. It doesn't matter who he faces in the first round. He could face Honma, Gabe Kidd, Tsuji. No, he faces Shingo. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's really going to be tested. And I think that, again, he's the one of the best in terms of winning finals last year, won it the year before. And damn, it just sucks. If you're picking Shingo or Okada, to win this whole thing, your bracket's flushed after night one if you get this wrong.
Absolutely. All right, so another match with a clear-cut favorite and a clear-cut underdog, I think it's fair to say, Tomoaki Honma and Minoru Suzuki. Now, Tomoaki Honma, we all love to say that Kakeshi makes us happy. He hasn't won a singles match since November 2016, and
that's not that long. That's okay.
You're just comparing it to your own career.
Yeah, Gino's on a similar run.
I know.
But that, of course, was before he suffered the neck injury that put him on the shelf for a year. That has significantly changed how he was able to compete. And Tomoaki Honma will certainly bring every bit of fight that he has. Minoru Suzuki, on the other hand, just to throw it out that it isn't a foregone conclusion, doesn't have a great record in the New Japan Cup, has been eliminated several times in the first round, has only gotten out the second round once, and that was to make it to the semifinals back in 2014, I believe. So he doesn't have the best track record in this tournament. But I think Suzuki has to be the favorite here, right?
Gino, please.
I agree. You're not going to get an argument from me here. I think Suzuki he's obviously not going to win. I shouldn't say that out loud. He may not win the whole tournament, but I think round one's an easy pick. And yep, I'm in agreement. I think it's an underdog versus someone who's most likely got this in the bag. And yeah, I think it's going to be a quick one too.
I'll say this two ways, and obviously Suzuki is my pick to win. And what's the weather forecast for the 6th? Chris, any peek at the weather? The reason I ask, the only way Honma wins is if Suzuki gets struck by lightning. Okay, there's absolutely no chance for Honma to win, and Suzuki, if he doesn't win if he wins in 5 to 10 minutes, then he's done his job. If it goes over 10, then I'm questioning whether or not Minoru Suzuki gets out of the second round.
Here's my thing, Kevin. I don't think even Lightning is stupid enough to try and take on Suzuki.
That's right. Even Lightning is afraid of Minoru Suzuki.
All right. Moving on, we have an interesting first round matchup, something that was scheduled to be at the Tokyo Dome this year. Juice Robinson versus Kenta. Kenta, of course, the New Japan Cup USA winner. But this is his first Japanese New Japan Cup. And, of course, Mr. Bullet Club, you've made your pick, Gino. But why do you feel especially that Kenta is victorious?
Well, I actually feel like this is going to be a really hard-fought, great match. Both men are absolutely revving and raring to go. They've spent a lot of time on strong style that we've seen. Juice went back to the US for a little bit and, got that ring rust off. It has been amazing to watch both these men hitting their strides whilst in the US. But again, you said it perfectly. This is Kenta's first New Japan Cup. The man has such a long history in that country. As I said, should be on the Mount Rushmore of Japanese wrestling. He has a lot to prove. I think he might be the dark horse throughout this tournament. I truly believe Kenta is coming into this with a mind that he will make the finals easily.
Yeah, I agree with Gino again. Not that Juice, and this is going to be a very hard-fought competitive fight. When Juice beat him in the G1, I put a pin in that one and I said, we might see these two down the road again. And when we were gearing up for Wrestle Kingdom, I kept thinking about that G1 victory that Juice got over Kenta and was like, man, I bet Juice wishes that never happened because there's no element of surprise. Kenta's familiar with him. And we'll give you another caveat. Juice was not in that Wrestle Kingdom match because of a broken orbital bone. He's barely been in the ring since then. And when he has, it's been tag team matches. So we'll see how his wind is. We'll see how everything is. We know he's going to come in great shape, but ring shape is different. And I'll be interested to see how well he can perform. Kenta, he's going to be hungry to win because of the bitter disappointment of coming up short against Jon Moxley. So I think Kenta, I actually have Kenta going on to the finals of the bracket. That lower portion of the bracket, Kenta's my pick to go through.
Yeah, I've got a feeling with the motivation that he'll have coming back after resetting after that match with Jon Moxley. I think Kenta is going to be my pick as well. We're then moving on. March the 7th, we're going to be in Yamanashi. And our first tournament match on that night. So Hiroyoshi Tenzan against Will Ospreay. Now, that's going to have a lot of overflow spilling out after New Beginning and after Osaka, where Tenzan unleashed those Mongolian. Maybe what's something begin with M? Maybe he went back to the UK and they're Mancunian chops.
Well, they were in Osaka. They were obviously Osaka hacks. I mean, how can we? What are we new? We can't tell the difference. Please. Completely different move. I'll give you for instance, it's like Vanilla Ice. Mm-hmm. Took under pressure, dun 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 dun. No. What we did was completely different. See, ours was dun 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 dun. See the difference? I mean, it's completely different. So, but for me, the result is going to be the same. It doesn't change my pick. Ospreay wins.
I'm pretty sure. Look, I've had a fair few concussions in my life, so I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure I said Ospreay was going to win the whole thing. Was that my pick?
Yes,
I
yes,
did.
you did.
Okay, let's stick to that. So I think as much as Tenzan's got all the fury in the world and wants to beat up Ospreay, Ospreay is, as I said during Osaka, lived in the shadow of Okada for far too long, and this is his opportunity to get all the sunlight that he needs. And I really believe that he's the winner of the New Japan Cup.
All right. Well, we might disagree once we get deep into the finals, but I think here, Ospreay versus Tenzan is your lock of the week. When it comes to that one, so
I've had a few. I've had a few locks in.
We've had a few locks, but you've been broken into several times.
Right. I think we could, and I think the next match too. There's a clear favorite, a clear underdog. And I know that Gabe Kidd, when he wrestles Zack Sabre Jr., he's going to be dialed in and ready. I love their little interaction that they had in Hiroshima during the multi-man on night 2. And I think this is going to be a great, great opportunity for Kidd to learn, for Kidd to display what he's learned in the dojo system. But Zack Sabre Jr. is the overwhelming favorite. Zack is definitely going to win.
I agree. I think Zack Sabre Jr. will do Zack Sabre Sr. proud and will have a win.
Yeah, I think obviously not many people are going to be putting their money on Gabe Kidd, but I think as well this is going to be an opportunity for him to show himself. They have met in singles action back in the UK. This was before Kidd went on his journey through the LA dojo, but I think this is going to be where you're really going to see the summation of everything that Gabe Kidd's learned in the Noge dojo over the last year and a bit in the LA dojo under Katsuyori Shibata. Katsuyori Shibata has said that he feels Kidd is pretty much all but ready. That he's all but at that point where we can say he's graduated, and I think he's looking to prove himself with that. We talk about. I thought we'd have it further down our schedule here, but it's right up next. It's the very next night. And, we're going to be in Okayama. This is on March 9th. Yuji Nagata versus Yota Tsuji. Now, I'm going to throw something out there. I think this is your upset of the first round. I've got Yota Tsuji over Yuji Nagata. Kevin.
So do I.
Yeah?
I'm very frustrated because I wanted to be the only one to have an upset special. And this first round is very much chalk. It's very much like status quo. And listen, Nagata will come in as the favorite. But I was like, I've got to pick an upset. And this to me makes sense because of everything that happened this weekend and everything that's been happening with Tsuji. I've got a sweet spot for him, and I think he can do it. I wouldn't be surprised if Nagata won. Gino, you might think I'm crazy. You might think Chris is out of his mind more so than usual, but again, there's just something with Yota Tsuji, and he's my pick.
No, Nagata for me. How can you go past how can you go past it? The man has fought MMA fighters. The man was a former IWGP champion. You can't go past the lineage and the history that Nagata has. For me, Nagata's got this easy. A little bit of deception.
Well,
I pull my top over my head, but no one wants to see that.
There you go. Right, you got to have your face.
My face. I always do. My face is inside my t-shirt at all times.
All times, just for such an occasion.
Just in case. Yeah.
Okay, so we're divided there. Here's another divisive first round matchup: Tomohiro Ishii versus Sonata.
My best friend Ishii. Look, for me, I have a feeling Sonata might just have this one in the bag. Ishii, don't get me wrong, a pitbull, an absolute pitbull when it comes to his opponents in the ring. The man deserves to get past round one, but Sonata's just got that X factor about him at the moment. He's moving forward. He's climbing that ladder. Ever since him and Evil had split, we have seen a different Sonata, a more calculated Sonata. He may not get there at the end. The main match seems to be his biggest obstacle, but I think this is his path towards the final. I can see Sonata probably going 95% of the way in this.
Kevin, you're making very studious notes as you're listening.
I'm just jotting down. I'm making sure that I have my second round because I don't have my printed bracket up on my screen. So I'm making sure that I'm carrying it over to next round. This is one where the Sonata fans are going to pick Sonata. The Ishii fans are going to pick Ishii. But I'm a fan of wrestling in its totality, and Ishii, even though he had a bad rib, nearly beat Jay White. And I think he steps up in a big spot here, and I think he gets the win. He gets his back on the winning track. And Sonata, until he proves it. Now, listen, he had a good run last year. He was a finalist the year before that. He does well in this tournament, and we'll see. But sometimes a little slow out of the block, and we'll see how he does. But I think it's Ishii's match.
I think Sonata needs this, certainly, after coming up short in Hiroshima against Kota Ibushi. I think he needs a win, and I'm just going to give the edge just in terms of being in the better physical shape in that match over Tomohiro Ishii. David Finley versus the Texas heavyweight champion Chase Owens. Kevin, who have you got?
This is going to be my favorite wrestling match of the first round. They're both amateurs, and they bring out the best in one another. I've gone back and forth on this one the whole day. I'm a lean towards Chase. I think he comes in as the favorite. Again, Finley, not a lot of wrestling as of late. Since he bowed out of the finals of World Tag League. He went back home. He's only tag wrestled since then. Chase has been in the fire for a while now. So I'm a lean Chase. Look for a quick roll-up win. Look for some flash pin out of somewhere. And I think Owens gets it done.
I'm in the same boat. Chase is on the case. Look, we've seen an amazing Chase Owens over 2020, 2021. That match against Yano, very physical, very different, and Chase held his own. We just saw him in Osaka Joe Hall. He had Okada on the ropes. There was a moment there where Okada's legs were wobbly because of Chase Owens' knee. I think Chase Owens is definitely improving all the time, a very underrated wrestler. Finley is great, though. Finley has his speed and all those great attributes as a professional wrestler as well, but I can see Chase Owens going through.
I'm just going to be contrarian, then I'm going to say David Finley. Don't throw out David Finley as a tournament wrestler. Made the finals in New Japan Cup USA, beat Chase Owens to do so in the first round, by the way. And I think I think that's going to be a little bit of an edge with Finley. It's going to be very, very motivated. I think a lot of people are overlooking him. And this is a chance for him to sort of shape his narrative through the rest of 2021. Yoshi Hashi versus Yujiro Takahashi as we get further deep down within the bracket. Two guys we often talk about. Yoshi Hashi's heart coming through and being very impressive through 2020 and 2021. Yujiro, though, at the same time, kind of showed flashes during the G1 last year that he's not to be ignored. Of course, beat Jeff Cobb right at the end of the tournament. I'm going to say purely just based on the track record and how much they've wrestled this year, I'm going to give the edge to Yoshihashi, but I wouldn't be surprised, Gino, if you argued with me.
I always will argue with you, Chris, over anything. Change my mind. The thing is, the Tokyo Pimp is back. How can we deny this man? He's returned to the ring in 2021. He's going to have a great match, and I can see him going forward. He might even be my second pick. Will Ospreay, and then Tokyo Pimp second. Can we agree with that? Is that an agreement? Is that no? Okay,
no, not at all.
I did try.
Absolutely not. Yoshihashi wins. And
is Peter coming? Is Peter going to be there?
I don't think so. She's very much looking forward to it. I saw her make that comment on Twitter. But perhaps
we need this COVID to go away. Get in that lab of yours, Gino, and
I'm trying my best.
Come on.
And our last first round matchup: Toa Hinare versus Jay White, the all Kiwi round of the New Japan Cup. And I'm gonna do it again. My big upset number 2 of this tournament. Jay White takes a first round L. Toa Hinare is gonna go deep in this tournament. Toa Hinare missed out on the cup last year. This was gonna be his thing. That first singles main event against Tomohiro Ishii, and I said back then, before everything went array, I kind of said, oh, Toru Hanare, don't count him out. I think now he's had that extra time after World Tag League. He's done nothing but train through all that time. And I think Jay White, New Japan Cup, he's going to be a little bit too overconfident. He's going to get caught. I think Toru Hanare is going to win.
How dare you?
Wow.
Look, there's only one other person I'm more afraid of in this world than Suzuki, and it's Toru Hanare. That man petrifies me. The man went on a kickboxing camp for his holiday. Okay, I understand his capabilities. I understand how much he's wanted to be in this New Japan Cup. I understand how hungry he is. But Jay White, anyone else he had in that match with Toru Hanare, I would have picked Hanare 10 times out of 10. But Jay White is the best in the world. The man is looking 1,000,000%. It is the new Jay Cup. It is still the Jay White era. As much as it pains me to say, because I'd love to see Hanare go through, Jay White has got this one.
Anybody else, I would say Hanare, because I think Hanare wants it more, but he doesn't want it more than Jay White wants it.
Mm.
So I would say, it's a field of 30, and the people that want it the most are Jay White and Hanare, and unfortunately they're wrestling in the first round. And again, this is one of those situations where Gato may come into play. I could see Hanare having Jay on the ropes and getting close, and just too much Jay White, too much Gato, too much big match experience. But Hanare will have his time in the sun. It won't be this year, though.
Okay, and then, of course, we would be remiss if we didn't say that there were two buys in the first round. Evil, the winner of New Japan Cup 2020, gets a buy into the second round, as does Hiroshi Tanahashi as the Never Openweight champion. So that's going to set up our round of 16. We're all going to have sort of diverse picks here. So rather than go through every single match, what are your 4 quarterfinals going to be? I have here Evil versus Jeff Cobb. I'm going to give the edge to Evil going through, and I'm going to say it's going to be Evil versus, who have I got? Great Okan and Toriano. Evil versus Okan is going to be my first quarterfinal. Kevin, what's yours?
I'm going with Evil over Jeff Cobb, and Naito over Fale. So that's where I'm going there.
Evil Naito.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I completely forgot who I've picked, so I'm just gonna copy you guys. I see Evil and Fale.
Evil and Fale. Wow.
Well, that's who you picked.
That's who you picked.
You picked Cobb. You picked Fale. You picked Naito. So
Wow.
that would be
Evil and Fale. Thank
That'd
you.
be an interesting matchup.
Could happen.
Could happen.
Yeah. I hemmed and hawed over Naito over Fale for more. I didn't just pencil it in. I thought about that one, and I was like, wow, I could see Fale. I could see it happen, but I go Naito just because of the tournament experience and the former champion and the motivation.
Let's see. Second, the lower left bracket, we've got, I would have Taichi facing Okada, and I'm going to say Okada in that one. And then Suzuki Kenta. Wow, that's going to be a match. Oh my God.
That is good. I'm looking forward to that.
Suzuki Kenta. I'm going to say Kenta to have a Kenta Okada quarterfinal.
And I had Shingo and Taichi, so I had Shingo winning because Shingo is my pick to win the whole thing. I also had Kenta and Suzuki, so I'm looking Shingo versus Kenta in the finals of that bracket.
Both of those matches,
Yeah,
exactly what I was going to say, Kevin. Spot on.
Yeah, Shingo versus whomever is going to be a barn burner, and Shingo Kenta should just be amazing.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Shingo Kenta is my pick as well.
Wow. Let's see. On the upper right, I think we all agreed that it's going to be Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr. That's a difficult call, but I'm going to say Will Ospreay to win that one. And then who have we got? I've got Tsuji and Sonata. So I'm going to say Sonata, and then we're going to have Will Ospreay Sonata.
This is where I wanted to change my upset special because I wanted Ospreay versus Ishii. because Rocky told us during the G1 that even in chaos, Ishii disliked Ospreay a great deal.
What a shock.
And I know, and I wanted to see that match. So I had so Ospreay gets the young lion Tsuji and Ospreay going through.
So you have Tsuji over Ishii.
Nagata.
No, I'm sorry. I have
please.
Ishii. I have Ishii beating. Pardon me. I had thoughts of Tsuji beating Ishii, but then it was Ospreay, Ospreay Ishii that overwhelmed that fervent need to see that match. So that's the reason why I have Ishii winning over Tsuji, and then we get Ospreay versus Ishii. So that was my rationale there.
I disagree. Yeah, I got to go with you, Chris. I think it's a Sonata Ospreay quarterfinal. Tsuji to beat Ishii, shocking if it happens. Shocking. Kevin, if you call that, you're the greatest mind in professional wrestling that's ever lived.
Tsuji over Nagata, like there's
Tsuji
that's
Nagata,
I think we can see that. But Tsuji to get past the second, oof, like that
was where I stopped. That's where I stopped.
Yeah.
But again,
if Kevin picks it, amazing.
I got a little crazy. I got a little ahead of myself.
That's putting too much in the GameSpot stock.
I started moving like Tsuji up too far. I'm a big college basketball fan. I'm sure that neither of you guys pay much attention to it.
Never watched it in my life.
Yeah, but again, the NCAA tournament is so much fun, and you find that diamond in the rough because you're always competing against your office mates, right? So you've got to pick an upset special. You can't just have the number one seeds getting to the final because you won't win. And so you've got to try to find that dark horse, that team that you don't expect. And that was where I was going with Tsuji for a few moments, but I'm like, come on, man. No. Don't lose your mind here. We're not pulling a 13 seed and having them go to the finals. It ain't happening.
But I'm gonna commit in my lower right here because I have Finley against Yoshihashi, and I'm gonna say Yoshihashi, and I have Hinare against Tanahashi with the bye. And knowing that what they went through as a team together and how Hinare led that team, if Hinare can put aside the respect that he has for his senior, there could be a potential of Hinare shocking the world. So I have Hinare versus Yoshihashi as my lower right quarterfinal.
Well, I had Chase Owens, Yoshihashi, Jay White winning their first round matches. Good for Tanahashi to get a bye, and I think he deserves it. I like the buys. He needs it. He deserves it as never open weight champion. I think Evil deserves it as the defending champion. If they decide to go with this going forward, I think that's a good thing because the never open weight champion, if they get some street cred by getting a first round bye in the New Japan Cup, then that just makes that title more important. So I hope they continue to do that going forward, but it's going to benefit Tanahashi here. It doesn't change the result though. I got Jay White winning. I've got Yoshihashi winning over Chase Owens. They met in the second round a couple of years ago, and I think Yoshihashi wins again. Sorry, Gino.
Yeah, it's me.
Yep.
No, that's okay. I see a Jay White Tanahashi quarterfinal. As much as I'd like to see a Jay White Chase Owens quarterfinal, but I don't think that's possible with the brackets. But Tanahashi, Jay White, and I can see Jay White moving forward.
Well, wait a minute. You've got tag partners colliding. You've got to pick a winner in Chase Owens or Yujiro.
Why are you yelling at me? I'm going to say, don't make me do that because then one's going to get upset with me.
I'm going to hang on at real Chase Owens.
Let me just put my Atlanta Falcons. No, I don't know. Chase Owens, maybe. But I honestly believe I can see a Jay White, Will Ospreay semi-final, which is going to be amazing.
I would be shocked if Gino had betting slips and had Yujiro Takahashi winning even the first round. Come on, Gino.
How dare you? Why would you say such lies?
You're betting your car on Yujiro.
Not my car. I love my car.
Okay, so you got to bet it the first round.
No.
Excuse me. Yoshihashi or Yujiro. Bet your car on it.
No.
Come on, man. You're betting with your heart and not with your head.
I still go to the Tokyo Pimp. Ugh, my car. I love it. Don't take my car.
Damn it. All right, so we got some good picks there. I like that.
I like it. I like it too. So we're going to go now. Final four. I have an Evil Okan quarterfinal. I think United Empire is a formidable force, and I think at this point Jeff Cobb is out of my bracket. I think Jeff Cobb is going to be the perfect man to neutralize Dick Togo, and I think we're going to have Great Okan into the semis. So I have Great Okan on that side. I have Okada over Kenta for a Great Okan Okada semifinal, and then on the other side, I'll have Will Ospreay over Sonata, please, and then I think. Why the hell not? I've got Toa Hinari over Yoshihashi. I think that's a winnable Hinari match. I'm going to go Hinari all the way to the final four. So my final four are Okada, Okan, Will Ospreay, and Toa Hinari.
Hey, listen, crazier things have happened, Gino, but that would be a series of craziness. What do you think?
For me, it's the final four is Kenta, Great Okan, Jay, Will Ospreay.
My final four, because again in my Elite Eight, I've got Evil and Naito, so I got Evil winning that one. I got Shingo and Kenta. I have Shingo beating Kenta. So Evil and Shingo on the left-hand side of the bracket. And then on the right-hand side of the bracket, I got Ospreay versus Ishii. Ospreay winning. And then I have Yoshihashi and Jay White. And I have Jay White winning. So my final four is Evil, Shingo, Ospreay, and Jay White.
All right.
Good final four. Good final four.
So then we'll be with that final four. Those last two events will be live and in English on njpwworld.com. And I'm going to say at this point, my final, I had it sort of envisaged from the outset. And I think probably Gino might agree with me. Well, maybe not, if you've got Evil in that mix. I think it's going to be an Okada-Ospreay final. So I think we're going to have Okada up over Okan. I'm going to say Ospreay finally ending the Cinderella story of Toa Hinare. And then we're going to have Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada in the final of the New Japan Cup.
Let me go next, just because I want to show.
Oh, Jesus.
So
Am I looking at...
I have Shingo, right?
Yeah.
Shingo.
Yeah.
And then I had Will. A rematch of the Best of the Super Junior final from a couple of years ago. But then I crossed it out because I changed my mind.
I think your Japanese has gotten really good, Kevin. Well done.
No, it's Shingo and Jay. That's who I have in the final. But Shingo Ospreay, whoo! Either way, good Chris, match. you and I had rematches. For the finals, which I really love. And these tournaments always have a magical way of working out to where we get rematches from other big spots. So if it's Ospreay and Okada, if Shingo loses in the first round to Okada and I'm looking on the outside looking in for the rest of this thing, I'm pulling for an Okada Ospreay final because I love that match at Wrestle Kingdom and I would love to see it again.
Well, wait a second, Gino. Before I said it, I thought you might agree with me. You were booking the horse that is Will Ospreay all the way through, but that means he does have to beat Jay White.
No, that's what will happen is everyone will get food poisoning and
Suzuki's in.
Yeah. My feeling is the final, and this is if I was to bet my car, is Ospreay and Kenta. I think Kenta has a lot to prove. And getting to that final, does he beat Ospreay with the run Ospreay's on? I don't think so, but I truly believe I see a Kenta and Ospreay final.
Wow, that's a really any conceivable final is going to be really, really great. And I think that's the thing. Up and down this year's field is that you've got really stacked cards, really stacked matchups, really intriguing matchups. So of course our three diverse picks are Shingo, Kazuchika Okada, and Will Ospreay. So that means that you can go out and bet your car and your house on Yoshihashi.
I like both those things. No, please don't take them.
Just look at the matches that we've picked for our finals. All different, all great, and matches that I would be thrilled to call live if they happen. So I don't see a scenario where any of us lose in that regard.
Gino, final thoughts on New Japan Cup 2021?
I am so keen for this year. I think there's so many wild opportunities. Even Tokyo Pimp might win it, the whole thing. You don't know. But my point is, it's such a wide and open tournament. I'm really excited to see what happens, and I'm really excited to be there for the finals as well.
Amen.
Okay, and you could be with us every step of the way on njpwworld.com, the king of sports streaming services. It all starts March the 4th. We have live English coverage from the Nippon Budokan. If it's already happened, then go back and check out the archives. I'm sure we were great on it. And we're all going to come through. We're going to have English coverage in post. Rokem Kelly's going to lay down the commentary on those shows for you. They'll be up very, very soon, as soon as we can physically get them up there for you.
Yeah, but I'm going to do my very level best to make sure that on the same day, I'm always going to record on the same day, and that it will be up as quickly as possible.
Yeah, certainly during the G1, everybody put in a Herculean task to get that turned around. So, I mean, as soon as we can do it, we will do it. And then, of course, we're back live with you March the 20th and March 21st. So wherever you are, you can be there, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a hell of a journey. Thanks to Kevin Kelly. Thanks to Gino Gambino. We'll catch you next time. Until next time, Gokigenyo. Sayonara.